share our screen over here. And I'm going to share also my screen, okay, on the other groups here, right? Okay, one from, all right, the other rooms, okay. I think Brian can actually open up your camera so I can actually, right, we can actually interact together, okay, interacting together, okay, at least one person, okay, as a part of our, what we call that, people actually, right, okay, contribute themselves. Huh? Very shy. Very shy, right? Cindy actually in another room there. Ask her to open I think they're right. Huh? Why you very shy there, right? Okay, I go another room. Huh? No need the racket. They always pack the racket in other rooms there. So guys, good morning everyone. Okay, both of you guys actually can open up. I can actually see my screen, right? All right. Yeah. What is going on there again last week? Both of you guys can see my screen over here. All right. I actually have been share with you guys, okay, this morning. Okay, one of the links about character design there. Okay, which is going to be a part of the things that we actually going to what we call that, challenge ourselves, okay, for the next project, basically the second kind of assignments works, which is the character design there. All right, the thing about the character design is, right, one of the most important thing that I want you guys to understand about the character design, especially in graphics kind of terms directly, they actually has a part of icon directly and items of element that which going to represent your content and your products, right? Okay? But depending also what kind of product you're going to basically going to use this kind of characters or this kind of elements, okay, in order to engage with your audience, there, okay, to communicate with the audience as a part of your what we call the ambassadors there, okay. But not all content or not all product can be applied using this kind of what we call the elements there. But depending on the certain kind of situations or below the line or elements or what we call that marketing tool that you're going to use there, right? Okay, in order to attract people to look into your kind of what we call the sales there or marketing kind of strategies from here. All right. So now, okay. Hopefully, okay, what happens to your, okay, what basically you've been working on with your FYP projects, it will be tally and also can be linked together, okay, with the thing that you're going to work, okay, for this week, okay. So the deadline, basically, I already what we call that extended, right? Okay, which is we are going to submit this assignments are going to be around 21st of March there. Okay, we have delayed basically the submissions, which is you have around 1, 2, around 3 weeks there. 1 month there, right? And then the following weeks are going to be right after that the third assignments there, which is not actually going to be what we call that interrupt your your final year project, right? Which is around 18 April. Am I right? Your final submissions for your final year projects are going to be when is it? Guys? Your FYP? Or you don't know when actually you're going to submit? Next semester, is it? When is it that actually you're going to resubmit your works there? Your FYP projects? Guys, when is it? You don't know, is it? When? So the deadline basically I've been delayed, okay, based on my discussion with Miss Vivian, okay, as I actually mentioned before, right? So hopefully you guys can commit them and complete them in various kind of shines there, right? Okay, now let me take a look here. Okay, your last submissions there, right? Okay, from these 3 groups, which is each group from Miss Vivian kind of classes. I believe they have been actually submit the progressions there, right? Okay, but my groups, I want is the progression in between, basically on the works there. Hopefully you guys can be submit there, and you can see the difference from there. And this is some of the sketches from your friend Hui Min, all right, on her caricatures here, right? Hopefully Hui Min actually have been improved a little bit more on the developments here. Okay, it's a very good kind of what we call it studies on her face, is it? Yeah, all right. Oh, this is a very good studies there, guys. Okay, one of the good example that we have here, all right, from presentations on the works itself there, okay, they document themselves there, okay. This is one of the good examples there, okay, based on the research, right? This is a very good kind of practice there, guys, even though I'm not practicing myself, okay, on that, but for you as a students, it's a very good kind of development from here there, how you mean there, okay. I believe that Miss Vivian actually asked you to work on that, right? So this is a very good kind of practical, kind of proper kind of way of working there, all right? So which is very good kind of examples, okay, for you guys to practice this kind of way to present your works here, all right? These are the things that basically you guys, okay, each one of you guys can see the difference between the submissions, okay, between among your friends over here, right, to see the documentations of your works, and at the same times, right, the things that you guys can see from here there, okay, it will be engaged with more kind of understanding on developing your kind of ideas at the same times, right? So all this kind of what we call the developments that we see from here, okay, even though there is no kind of sketches yet, okay, but she actually tried to apply the thing that we have been working on, okay, during the practical, during the lecturing, also practical class at the same time. But you guys document the whole thing there, okay. This is basically for you guys, not for me, okay. This is basically for you guys, okay, to apply this certain kind of what we call that mechanism for you guys to improve your presentations there. All right, when it comes to presentation there, okay, as I actually mentioned, this is something basically you guys have to alert on yourself there, okay, because you guys are senior there, okay. The way that you present your kind of work, there has to be in terms of your own creativities there, how actually you're going to work on that. As for me there, right, what I did for myself, okay, not basically in the way actually I'm going to teach you guys. Normally I'm going to show you guys, okay, to demonstrate some of the techniques and methods there, right? But the things that I actually do for myself, which is I can share with you guys here, and I do, or I'll put also in my skills share if I'm not mistaken there, right? I'm using the same methods, but I'm not actually using basically, right, the whole process of developments that I show from my works there, but I actually compile all my portfolios into one PowerPoint presentation, which is I actually have been what we call that, put it into, where is it? Let me check them back again. I'll put into basically on one PDF presentations there, right, which mean if I'm going to present some of the previous kind of works, what are the things that I've done before there, okay, and some of the what we call that acknowledgements, okay, all the papers, okay, certificate there that I have, I'll put it in one PDF, including my kind of illustrations and portfolios kind of works here. Okay, let me check. I just want to share with you guys here. it's very good for your practice, okay, at the same time. Where is it? Oh, this is the one, I think. Hopefully this is the one there. This is one of my mechanisms to present the works there, right? Okay, which is, if you look closely, okay, when I actually go into any kind of interviews, all right, or clients that can ask for my works directly, I'm going to include all this kind of stuff right here, right? Okay, not all certificates there, but most of the certificate, like an important certificate, right? My degrees, my certification from the government itself, okay, as a professional kind of a creative directors there, and also my kind of, we call the expertise on those technologies, on multimedia there, right? And the rest of it basically are going to be my portfolios here, right? Okay. So this is basically how actually I document myself, okay, to do those kind of works, right? Every single kind of illustrations there, I keep on update basically most of the works there, okay, but this is not the latest one, but this is something that I've done actually, right, okay, to include into my presentations, right? Include in my presentation, okay, for illustrations kind of works here, okay. So I actually recommend you guys, okay, before you graduate, or you compile all your works, okay, into one particular file that you update back again, you save it to PDF, and don't forget to put some backup basically into your Google kind of what we call that on clouds there, right? To make sure that you can actually fill in all this kind of update on your works in the futures, other than you have set into your own kind of what we call that Behance or online kind of what we call that platform that you have there, right? So this is one of the way also we can actually use this kind of mechanism back again, okay, this kind of methods there, okay, to include and to save your files there, okay, because we never know what happens there, right, in the futures here. All right, when you save your files in your DVDs, your external drive, like this one, I just bought this one, I think last year, right? Suddenly, okay, it's not going to be practical enough, and there's something happened. I don't know what happens there. Okay, I didn't drop this one, but it kind of slowed actually for me to retrieve back in all my files over there. So we can actually use that kind of what we call that only one particular kind of what we call that device that to save our files there, to make sure you actually use, okay, any kind of what we call that platform that you have to save back again your files there. This is the new one, I think they're right. Let me check here. This is the new one there, right? I don't know whether I forgot to save. This is my PowerPoint kind of files there. Let me save back again, right? Luckily, okay, I just go through with it and see there, okay, what are the things that I've lost already. Track in times. So there are too many files that I have in my folders there. I'm also have that kind of things, okay, kind of what we call that thing have to be updated all the times there. So this is some of the newer things that I've done, okay, some update, okay, on the online store, some of the works that previously there, okay, we actually have been working on before, even though some of the works that I've done actually is one of the proposals there. This is one of the proposals that I did, okay, even though I didn't win the proposals there, okay, I didn't win the projects, right, but it's a very good kind of way of you document all your things there, okay. And also this is some of the previous that I actually do some demonstrations for last semester and last few semesters there, right? Some of the content and products that I did basically directly were not basically very basically okay, successful, okay, because of the situation, some of the pandemic situations there, right? All the things happens sometimes there, okay, but it's all good there, guys, okay. So when you update basically your kind of things like this one, all right, update back again the whole thing there. They will give you more kind of confidence later on when it comes to presenting your works, okay, to the clients, and people can see your kind of level of strength that you can actually provide, okay, to their kind of future kind of projects in the futures there. All right, those are the things that really important here. I did also update also some of the links from here there, right? Yeah. Okay. The list of the client at the same time there, right? Okay. So those are the things that which basically I find it quite important here for you to update each times when you want to, what we call that, have done some of the works there, right? Okay. This is very good kind of way of presenting. Okay, this is some of the things that Miss Vivian actually have done also. Okay, based on the weekly kind of presentations here directly, which I actually have shared also previously, but I didn't actually raise them back because I'm more focused on the technical kind of stuff over here, right? Hey, you guys haven't actually messaged me about your FYP kind of progress there. How is it? You guys still here there, right? Anyone? On the way there. Okay. What happened to you guys today, okay? No. Right. Don't have a lifting kind of spirits there. Brian also quite shy here today. All right, guys. Okay, we just talk about what we call that character design here there, okay? There's a few kind of types of character design that you guys can look into and also develop, okay, in times there. But not all of those, what we call that techniques or methods, which is we are going to demonstrate, are going to be effective in a short time there, okay? For example, like nowadays, one of the most, I think, popular there, okay, in trend, okay, with some of the designers kind of works that we can see from the internet there, okay, they have been spread it out, are going to be the 3D styles there, okay, simplified 3D styles, okay, like a doll effects kind of characters there. All right, this is something that we talking about there, okay. They're using a 3D kind of application software. For example, like nowadays we have the ZBrush, we have the Sculptris, which is I try to apply because I've teach some of the module or subjects, okay, for other universities here, but the very basics one there, right? And also Blender there, okay. You guys can actually explore them, okay, on yourself there. I don't know what type of 3D application which is in multimedia subject we actually have been done. I think Cinema 4D there, okay, for multimedia students. But graphic design, I don't know whether you guys have that kind of 3D applications there, okay. But if you want to test your kind of what we call that skills, okay, you guys can try first. I don't know whether you guys have tried before. Anyone actually here have tried before? Sculptris? Put into the chat box over here. Any 3D applications? Not yet. All right. No one actually, right? SketchUp, okay, one of it is Cindy, okay, you can actually design base kind of what we call that buildings there, right? But I never tried yet, okay, I never tried them, but this is the one I actually have tried and developed, okay, along the way. I think around a few months there, right? Okay, a few months here. So one of the things that I've done right here, okay, I just want to give you guys something, okay, to use this kind of what we call it doesn't mean that you have to apply that in your character design works there, right? But if you take a look at this kind of sculptures there, right, okay, kind of what we call that interface. It's very simple kind of interface there. Right? You guys can actually playing with just using like clay kind of stuff that if you play with plasticine before, all right. This is one of the application that quite easy for you to what we call that test and try that, right? Okay, using the grab tools like this one, right? So you guys can apply them at the same time there. See, You just extrude that, right? It's just like playing with clay there, right? It's very nice kind of what we call that applications there. There are 3D applications there that you guys can try to use them, to experiment them first, right? You stretch a little bit right here, see? And then I rotate the positions there, right? And kind of like very nice kind of applications, right? Okay, just like you playing with clay there, right? But if you're using this 3D application, you have to rotate, okay? Don't use only one single kind of positions there, in order to develop your kind of understanding there, okay, on a various type of position that to see. You guys can rotate, right? Okay, click outside there, you can rotate there, right? And try to see whether the position that you draw basically is in the right manner of positions or not, right? Stretch a little bit there like that, see? Draw. But of course, one of the most important thing that you have to remember when you use this kind of 3D applications, it's all about your understanding of those formations, of the breakdown of the characters formations there, okay? Breakdown of those, what we call the shapes here, okay? To draw those basics understanding on the basic structure, all right? That's basically one of the most important thing here right now, okay? That's why fundamental kind of understandings is really important at the same times, okay? When you try to work with this kind of design, and make sure you can actually write, improve more on your understanding, right? It doesn't mean that you have to draw, you know how to draw better, right? You can actually execute with this design there, right? If you cannot draw also, right, you actually doesn't have basically a very good kind of skill in drawing. It doesn't mean that you cannot actually execute this kind of applications there, right? Okay? It's all about gaining knowledge, right? Okay? That's why when you want to design something there, right? Okay? Using these applications, your foundations of understandings are the key, not whether you actually can draw better or not, right? Okay? Or people who can draw only can use this kind of tools, okay? If you cannot actually write, you don't have that kind of particular kind of skills, foundation skills, but you have the knowledge there. That's what I say, the knowledge there, okay? It's really important there, okay? For you guys to bring up your kind of understanding right here. So, but if you have basically that kind of what we call that skills that you can bring into this kind of applications there, right? Okay? Understanding here. Right? So it's just the size, and then I bring back again there, right? Okay? Those kind of what we call that positions there on the structures. Okay? Stretch a little bit there. Check the whole positions there first. Then I start to draw, add basically the shapes of the eyes there. Okay, so I kind of want to draw, let's just say I want to draw a cartoon kind of styles there, okay? A caricatures there, okay? Of what we call that, human there, or personalities there, okay? That I have in mind. So stretch a little bit, okay? Put it over there, so we can see all these kind of level or details of the human proportion that you can actually execute from here. Okay, just want to give you guys some introduction. Very nice kind of applications here. You guys can download also these sculptures for free. There's the things there for free there, right? Okay, 3D sculptures, okay, sculptures there, okay. Alpha 9. I don't know whether they have updated their, okay, these kind of applications here or not. Yeah. So it's a very good kind of what we call the application that you're doing, but it takes time there, guys, okay, to model them, right, to model them here. Okay. kind of takes time a little bit there, right? Okay, just like you're playing with clay there, right? Those are the things here. So the idea of playing, okay, or using this kind of what we call the applications, it's just like we using clay. Okay? Just like we're using clay there. So I just want to give you guys exposure because you guys are going to be graduate there, right? So that means if we can have more kind of knowledge there, okay, that you actually can bring over. Okay, bring over to your kind of understanding. Only you can actually give you guys a bit more kind of taste of what basically you guys can actually approach in the futures directly. To try them out there, right? Oops, crashed there. So the good thing about these applications, they have the autosave. If I'm lucky there, right? You see, yeah, they have autosave there. I can start back again later on, save the files. All right, save the files over here. All right, these are the things here, right? Quite interesting kind of applications that you guys can try it out. Okay, not for our assignments, but just for the sake of okay. Quite interesting that guys, okay, to work here. Okay, so let's just say I want to add another object. This one, see? Okay, oops. I'm going to draw the eyes, okay, model the eyes there. This one, only one only there, right? Just delete them. Okay, and I can scale. Right. Actually move to the side that I want. Okay, you can scale a bit more and move using grab tools. There, right? See, like a cartoon eyes there. You can see. I can scale a bit more, right? I can exaggerate a little bit there. Okay. This is one of the way actually we can do it. Click to the global back again, and I can move around. I can select the right which particular kind of shape that I want to use. And I can actually extend that first. Okay, sorry, there again. Grab. I can extend the eyes there according to the positions that I want there first. All right. If I want to create basically a pupil there, I can use these methods also if I want to. See? Yeah. Centralized there. Very interesting, guys, okay? A glimpse of it. Like if you want to try them later on, okay, in your free time, just for example, there, okay, you thought that I just want to give a try there first, okay, to see whether I can actually get it through or not. Right, just playing around and develop my kind of understanding here. Right, just can go here. Okay. To develop the ears, basically, there, okay, make sure that you have basically understand, okay, the patterns of buying basically the ears there, okay, the shapes of it. That's why what I say there, okay, the basics knowledge of understanding is it's really important here when it comes to design basically the shapes there, right? It doesn't have to be too what we call that, too details there. See what I try to do right now. Try to develop a little bit kind of understanding on working with the patterns of the ears here. But it doesn't have to be too detailed there, okay? Because it's going to be look complicated a little bit there, okay? When you want to, what we call that, create that kind of patterns there later on. Right? Take a look at different side there, whether they're going to be right or not, and then go back again to see the right. Save the file. So very interesting there, guys. All right, if you have that kind of what we call that times that you can make together to develop your kind of skills there, invest more on the skills there, okay? Different kind of skills here. It doesn't mean that you can model like this and you can actually make some clients work, okay, right away there, okay? But invest your time to develop the skills there. Okay, like one of my kind of colleagues that I have seen before, okay. Some of them, the skill of drawings or illustration, not that quite good there, right? But when they actually apply the understanding in modeling there, okay, they kind of have the different kind of skill they can offer from for your portfolio and for your design there, right, at the same times. That's basically one of the good things if you can actually explore different kind of applications there. When you want to improve yourself, to invest yourself in this kind of careers there, okay? It will be more exciting for you guys that get to work on that. Okay. All right. Any questions at the moment here?
So far, so good.
This is 3D application. Can using 3D printer to print? Yes, can. But do you have to convert to other what we call that STL, and also the other kind of what we call the applications that, if I'm not mistaken, there, okay, I never tried them yet, but I asked some of my friends who actually have done all this kind of works as a part of their routine, their job, okay, they say they have to convert into another applications, which is can read basically these kind of models that, okay, before they print. That's kind of things that you guys can explore that, right? Okay, Wing Huan there, okay. It's a very good kind of application. You explore them first, the modeling there, okay, and then you enhance more on your skill from there. And after that, in the futures, we never know that, right? Hey, this group very slow or very shy there, okay? Doesn't any questions there. 7 of them right now there, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Include me there, okay? So it's very good, guys, okay, to work on that, okay, to diverse or try to explore new things, okay, which is free there, okay. Those are the things that are really important there. So that's basically all about the 3D applications or 3D character design that we can see from, and even though nowadays there's a few number kind of what we call that website, okay, who sell basically this kind of models there. You guys can use, but without having the proper kind of application, of course, you can actually operate them, right? Okay. So I really encourage you guys to explore a bit more further in if you have times, but not for our assignments there, okay? In order to build up basically your kind of strength, your abilities, your skills, okay, in different kind of what we call that platform at the same time there, right? Okay, I have to drink a little bit there, right? Hopefully you guys also have your own breakfast there. So it's very interesting there, okay, because if you have a multiple kind of skills there, right? Sometimes you don't need photographies anymore there, okay? For example, if you want to create this kind of product there, okay? I have one of my friend also who actually has taught in TAUC, okay? But from Masscom, but he actually doing very good, well in graphic design. Now he actually teaches at UITM, Malacca. Right, some of the product that he did, okay, for the clients, he did not using photographies, they're shooting them, right? He modeled them back like some of the food product like burgers, fries, drinks, okay, energy drinks, okay. So if you had that kind of skill, I don't have that kind of skill there, okay, honestly there, okay, because I don't push myself further from there, but I beginning to learn back again because I find it quite very exciting there, right? It's fun basically to explore, right? I'm not doing only for the client's works there, okay? My client works in different things there, okay? But I kind of feel like, yeah, what the heck there, okay? Why don't we try that first, okay? Because I've been forced basically, okay, at the first stage to teach basically the subjects. That's the difference there. And then I kind of have the basics foundations of 3D, right, okay, before. Because I'm working with the 3D peoples there, I'm doing some design for them there, okay. I'm conducting all these kind of projects before there, right. And I have that kind of senses, what we call that previously, okay, on that kind of application, understanding that, right, okay. But I never try seriously on that because most of the times I'm going to design all this kind of stuff there, okay. So when I give a try, but I take mungkin around 1 week, right, okay, around 1 week or 2 weeks there, right, okay, I'm playing with the tools, but not quite serious there, right, okay. And suddenly, right, okay, all the flow happens there. I do some bit kind of research on YouTube there, learn by myself back again, ask some people there at the same times there, right? And then we kind of like, one of the best things is that we kind of trust our skills there, our understanding there, our ability at the same time there. You have to build up a bit kind of confidence from time to times. Otherwise, you won't be able to succeed there, okay? I'm not succeed yet, okay, because I kind of want to try some of the models like this, right, okay, very, very colorful there, very, what we call that, not kind of very hardly to see that they're just using a lot of materials only that they don't actually paint them right, okay, for some of the models there. So it's kind of very, very exciting there, okay, to work on that. So this is basically 3D applications that use 3D applications to work on that. And of course, okay, if you want to apply like 3D kind of look and feels, all right, 3D kind of look and feels. What happens there, Brian, there?
I go to another meeting.
Oh, you change a group there, right? Okay. Right. It's okay, guys. Okay, I'm here with you there, right? Okay, I'm here with you guys there, right? So now you guys can use also AI, for example, there, right? Okay, to apply the imitations of 3D, even though Photoshop also can be applied. Okay, you saw some of the animation, some of the illustration that I did, basically on those caricatures there. Okay. So I try to imitate a little bit, okay, but not too much about it. And of course, you have to render the whole things using the soft brushes that I actually have been showing you guys to work on that. So those are one of the way also you can apply that, okay. But the other technique and style that people actually can explore, okay, is a flat graphics geometric kind of shapes there, okay. We go back to basics there back again, using a very breakdown of the very what we call that basics kind of shapes and form to create your character design. Right? In character design, for example, hierarchy, it doesn't have to be a very complicated kind of design like this, but of course, what I want to give you guys some examples there first. If you want to sketch, sorry, any character design, okay, you want to design any character design, okay, characters, okay, you must be able to sketch it out first there. Simple as that, right? And when you sketch your kind of design, your characters there, the first thing that you need to understand to create a dynamic look of your design there. Dynamic there. What do you mean by dynamic there, okay? That means we don't draw like this one there. You see that? We don't draw like this to start with. Unless you will basically plan to design your characters. These character design are going to be widely ranged, right? Like this. If you plan to design like this, yes, they're right. basically you try to imitate children's kind of drawings there. It can be for your certain kind of campaign there may be there, right? Okay, but you need to actually apply all these kind of drawings consistently there, okay, to your works. This is also character design there. But if you can actually apply consistently there, okay, that means this is a part of your styles that you want to approach for your design there, right? Character design there. Character design doesn't actually limit into anime, manga, character styles, okay? What basically we actually have seen right here is a certain kind of what we call that some specific kind of character style for graphic kind of looks there. Graphic design that we talk about, not animation solely, not anime there only there, okay? Not specifically from there, but it's a wide range of graphic design that specifically that graphic designer have used their two works. All right, there's a few number kind of flat graphic design that I also quite interested, okay, at back in the day. That can be used also for animations there, okay? It doesn't mean that they're going to be static like this there, okay? This is oversimplifying, no facial features there. Okay, but you can see the dynamic kind of postures and positions of this design. It's not like looks stiff a little bit like a robot there, okay? They're very geometric, what we call that, there's basically a very natural kind of looks there, right? Organic kind of look of these characters there, not geometrical there, okay? This one a bit more geometrical there, right? You can see here. Even though it's a human being, basically it's an organic form, but they use geometrical kind of shapes there. I can remember the two different shapes there, geometric and also organic shapes here, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Right, remember that, okay? Break down a bit, and sometimes you can mix them around there, okay? So as a student of graphic design, make sure you guys understand all these kind of terms and you can mix around later on, okay? Whether geometric and also organic shapes together when you are designing your characters there, why actually you're going to apply them. Same goes to this one there, guys. And what are the good thing about these styles, okay? You play with a lot of colors there. You mix around with the colors there to give a bit kind of volumes and values of your kind of presentations here. And of course, if you don't have faces, that right, but using an iconic element like hair, beard, mustache, sometimes there, hairstyles, there, right, okay, or features of the faces, they give you a bit kind of more kind of advantages, not to worry too much about the expressions, but you can actually execute more better in terms of postures and positions there, right? Okay, this is quite one of the very good styles there. And the next one are going to be the Doodle Styles. This is one of the popular, I think, 4 or 5 years there, okay? And I have a few number of my friends also outside there actually have been what we call that upgrade their levels there, actually on Doodle kind of styles there. Okay, which is, if you can take a look here right now, all right? One of my friend from I don't know about Instagram there, okay? This is the one. This is one of the guy there, right? Okay, not Pierre. This is one of my friend, okay, right? Actually, quite active, okay. Back in the days until now, okay, on Doodle kind of styles there. This is one of the Malaysians kind of Doodle artists there, right? Okay, he started with the Doodles at the back in the day around 2013, if I'm not mistaken, there until today. And he did a lot of very independent kind of design, right? And this guy basically make a living with the Doodle styles. That's why I'm introduce you guys to these sessions over here, okay? This is the guy there. This is one of his what we call that partners there, okay? Who actually start the Doodles, what we call kind of trend. One of the person actually started Doodle trend in Malaysia there, okay? Zami there, Zami Musa there, okay. So he actually quite active, okay, to use his own kind of way of drawings there, okay. In the beginning there, okay, and he start to design, work with his characters there. The name of characters is that cool there, okay, and try to create some of the movements, right, okay, some sort of campaign that people actually around across our what we call that local kind of scenes, to design a few number kind of characters design based on his characters here, right? But I'm not actually right into okay with this kind of campaign because I'm quite busy with other things that I've done right now, right? But it's very, very interesting there, kind of movements that he tried to create here. A lot of people actually have designed few number kind of styles, okay, on his characters. So this is basically what some of the real kind of artists, illustrators that okay have done, okay, for their entire kind of life there, okay. We're talking about that, right? Okay, not only just for the assignments there. We create those are the people actually create the works there, okay, all together to make a living out of it. And the other kind of interesting kind of style that, like I said, okay, mixture there, okay, from organic and also just now with the geometric kind of shapes, but right now they mix with the line works and the shape itself there, which is also quite interesting for you guys to explore, right? Okay, but all this kind of stuff, it doesn't come easy if you don't actually practice yourself there. You actually explore a bit more on your way of working at the same time there, okay. So it's very, very kind of, all these kind of illustrations can be done in both kind of application that you have or any application that you have in terms of designing only there, okay, using the tools that the right kind of tools there and the right kind of brush for you guys to work. So, okay, mix around basically with the line works at the same time with the shape itself, and try to make a little bit kind of distortions or exaggerations on the shapes itself. That okay, it doesn't have to be properly going to be what we call it in the right kind of proportions, but it will be balanced there, okay. When it comes to design them, and also the color combinations there, okay. You use a strong colors to portray your kind of visuals there. It doesn't have to be full colors there. You can use spot colors there, okay, like red and black, orange and green sometime there, to give a little bit kind of meaning on your presentations. Purple and yellow and black, for example, there, okay, it can be there using your colors there that works. And this is something that we actually will be working on, okay, later on when it comes to texture and pattern rich design there, okay, which is I've done a lot basically previously on my works, right, which I use Photoshop there and use various type of brush there to works. So those are the things also quite interesting there to works, okay, if you really want to explore a various type of styles of illustration in the futures there, okay. But hopefully whatever that you guys been working on, but the thing that I find that quite not very engaging, okay, because some of the presentations over here, because you're not actually focused, I don't know what basically your plan, right, okay, on the progressions from other what we call the groups, but I cannot actually see some of you guys, okay, maybe it's not actually experiment too much, okay, you're not actually exploring basically your styles there first, you're just using the liquify tools only there, okay, because all these kind of progressions that I saw there, okay, all this kind of documentation that you have done, okay, you can straight away put some colors on that while you have to wait, okay. Maybe because the work progress just need only a sketch and also some finding of those reference only there, maybe there, right, okay. But I really love to work as quick as I can to get those kind of results there. So I don't like to wait too much time there, okay, for something to happen there, right, okay. But depending on the situation, but if you can work quickly, okay, fastest, it will be more better there, right. You can see the results quite fast, okay. Some projects you need more time there, right, but you can actually apply more better, it's a bit more, right, okay. But okay, the thing that we have to talk about just now, okay, when it comes to design and simplify the shapes here, okay, using the textures kind of line there, okay. I can see some of the works from your friend just now. Where is it? That Yan Lan there, right? Okay. I have to use some of the samples over here, guys, just to check look how actually you guys been working on there, right? So if you just look at what young learner actually have done, okay, about the hair. If you planning to design the hair like this, I would encourage you basically later on when you have designed them, right? Young learner, you hear that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is something that I want to share there, okay? If I want to design something like that, okay, this is basically your hair. I'm using lasso tools to work, but I'm using this kind of techniques there, right? Okay, to paint, okay? One of the way that I actually normally are going to use to paint like this, I'm going to find a texture brushes. Hopefully this one can be done, okay? One of it, okay, this is one of the texture brushes there. I'm not going to use black colors lah. Okay, so like this, it just flow a little bit. Why just a flow? Because I want to have the textures with me. See? Then I'm going to mix around with the shadows there. Right, to form basically the shapes there, right? See? Okay, you can see that, right? Right. The other thing that I can actually mix around with it, either I'm going to use patterns or I'm going to use basically these drawing boxes there. Adjust a little bit the flows. Adjust with the colors there, right? For example here. See? Mix around. Okay, we design things there. Not a basketball kind of patterns there, right? Okay, don't make let it wrong there. But basically, we can actually design the patterns of the hair. We design things. We not actually just apply the natural kind of looks there. This is one of the way of working there, right? So let's just say I want to design the patterns of hair. Because this kind of way of working, you guys are going to explore a lot when it comes to design children's book drawings in terms of the style that I'm going to introduce there. Can you see here how actually I'm working on it? And then let's just say I'm going to draw the shapes of the face using different layers, right? Don't forget to use different layers that works. Brush tools. And I'm going to use that brush back again, for example here. The size and pin them back. Okay. I want to have this kind of textures because I want to imitate, all right, imitations of traditional kind of way of paint styles using those what we call that soft pastels or rough what we call that hard pastels there or crayon there, for example. I want to have that kind of feeling, right? What I can do from here, I want to mix around with different kind of brushes like this. Start to draw those nose. Okay. We're talking about character design there, guys. Eyes. This line actually can be improved a bit more. And the lips there. We're talking about design. That's one of the way that, okay, not the only way for you guys to work. This one, maybe I'm going to add, but this kind of styles, it requires for you to work with various type of layers there, but not too much, okay, because you have to control that back. So we're talking about styles of illustrations here. Sorry. Oops, I missed out one there. Right. So this is one of it, okay, but you cannot actually draw them like this using your imagination and the tools if you're not actually sketch it out first. What I actually recommend you guys before you're going to work like that, sketch first, guys. Your ideas here. Right, sketch first there in the right way. Because when you sketch there, right, it will give more advantage for you to improve more on your way to understand about the tools that you want to use. Okay, look here, there right now, there right. I want to sketch my kind of ideas here. Using break down the shape there, right? Okay. When I have this, basically my kind of ideas there, okay, on designing basically the characters here like this. One other thing that you have to remember when I design this graphical kind of, this is basically what I imagine only using the tools nakedly there, okay, without having only plan in my head. But this one basically that I did on this stage here, okay, are going to be more proper kind of planning. So when I have this kind of proper planning like this, easy for me to work with my kind of design. For example, here, okay, I bring over these sketches on top layers, right? I have opacities there. These are going to be my design here, right? If I want to use different layers, not so much kind of layers there, okay, what I can do, I can sketch first basically my kind of drawings like this. This is also one of the way that you guys can use, other than using lasso that works, which sometimes you felt quite, who actually thought they're using lasso tools a bit kind of confusing. Anyone thought like that?
Okay for me.
Okay, for who is it? Cindy. Only Cindy there, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay, this is the one, guys, okay? Can you see, okay, how I actually sketch it out there? Easy there, right, okay? Because when you actually have planned more on your sketches here, but my sketches is not actually quite a very, what we call that, average kind of style there. I try to mix around my sketches with more dynamic kind of looks at the same times. But using the graphical kind of styles here, I'm not actually using only one particular styles only to work with my designer, right? I'm using different kind of look and feels here. Combine the line together. Okay, now draw the lips, right? What else I can do from here? Okay. Combine the line there, right? I want you guys to have different kind of options when you design. Not only one particular kind of style, so okay, I just want to survive and use all these kind of styles only, okay, for the rest of my entire life there. Your life will be a bit kind of what we call that, into one single directions only there, okay. Have the sketches there, easy for you to work, apply them. This one, the neck, using what brushes that I used right now, okay, cowl boxes there. So from here, there. So this is different styles that I'm going to apply here, there, right? So from here, all right, what else that we can do? You can actually design the body there, right? Okay, the colors of those, what we call that dress, if you want to design later on there, okay, to works. And what other thing we can look at the hairline there, okay? It's all the methods of, okay, I'm going to use different layers there. So if I want to use lasso tools, make sure the feather are going to be what we call that. The feathers basically are going to be 0% guys. Okay, 0% here. So what I can do right now, I can paint directly using the same brush if I want to, like this. But the color that I'm going to use is not pure black. For example, like this one, I see. Okay. And I can use also the pastel pazzola there, okay? It look like a chocolate names there. And then I'm going to paint the shadows over here. But I lock the shadows, not just using the highlight there, okay? All the times. So what I can do from here, I can use light colors to draw the outline, okay? All right, the hairstyles there, right? Mix them up together there, see? So the layers at the back there, right? So what I can do, sorry, I can actually use to draw those hair. See? So using the same colors, brush tools, but now I'm going to use back again the drawings box, is it? This one. That's the size and paint. And if I want to add some shadows, adjust the flows, and I can paint basically the shadows there, right? I'm using my own gradient there, okay? Methods that works. Let's see. That little bit there, right? And you see that, guys, okay, those kind of what we call that possibility that you guys can use to design the characters using Photoshop or AI there, okay? No matter what tools that you're going to use, okay? But applying the styles of your design right now is the key to develop your skills. Anyone who agree, okay, say why or yes, okay? Who not agree, say no there, right? No one on the chat box there. Right, respond there, guys. Okay, anyone agree or not, okay? Put in the chat box, okay? We have around 90 people over there, okay? So I'm going to give, thank you guys, okay? So I'm giving you guys some sort of options all the time, but you have to think creatively there how it works, right? You don't have to be only a specific, but if you want the specific kind of way to approach, go ahead. Don't stop you guys that it works there, okay? But what I've tried to provide right now, well, basically is an options there for those who still wondering there, okay, what type of style that I'm going to use there. But the key point is right now to sketch it out your ideas, right? Don't just trust the way they're actually going to use, okay, right? I'm going to use Photoshop. I'm going to use the lasso, for example, or any kind of brushes, just straight away draw. Yes, you can do like that. I'm not saying it's kind of, okay, but the thing is, can you get the dynamic kind of look and feel of your design when you come to finalize them to present your works there, or to according to what you want or what you plan there, right? That's basically the questions and the result that you might going to get from there. If you not actually be careful with your kind of actions that you take when you design them. Because when the most things that actually happens to me also, okay, when I put a lot of trust on the tools, man, like I didn't actually planning first, right? Okay, this is the thing that you do, what we call that, to plan your works, a very good things there. But what the things from there, the next thing, hopefully in week 6, we can see from there, right? Okay? If you work with a progression like this, it's very good kind of the recommendations there. But what are the next thing we can do from here? This is a thing that we actually have done entirely on the last 1 or 2 weeks there, right? But we're going to get some advance, because whatever that we're going to do there, guys, it's all the matter of basically the directions is going to be the same there. What we've done right now, will basically came from what you're going to produce, basically for the next of your project. They're going to be related there, right? Okay, but plannings, sketches and plannings are really important. They understand what type of posters that you want to use. If you doesn't know how to imagine directly, I already give you guys some of the tips before, is by using a reference there. You want to draw women there, okay, or girl or lady kind of type of characters there. You can actually use this kind of posters there, or this kind of posters there, right? This is basically a standard poster for model sheet turnaround, not HIT, HET as a sheets there, okay, that we actually use for the terms for what we call that characters kind of modelings, either 2D and 3D there, okay. Because when we design the characters like this, one single posture there, okay, 3/4 view, for example, with the kind of positions that you want, then you have to turn your design into these posters there. But this is basically a 3D kind of rendering that they have a tone shades that we call very flat kind of rendering there, okay. But they basically imitated the 2D kind of look and feel, but they're still in the 3D there, okay. This is the next one that they use a certain kind of what we call that filter and plug in for the hair mapping there, okay. And all the cloth as well, quite detailed there on the 3D kind of what we call the platform there, right? But this is basically the model sheet that 3D people do, and also 2D people do as well. Okay, you guys can see some of my sample from the brief that I actually have gave you guys, okay, that they use this kind of method, the same thing, okay. But when you come to design your characters there, before you go into that 3D, what we call that model sheet turn around there, right? Okay, 3 or 4 different positions, which is, it's not that quite easy, guys. Okay, I'm saying that, okay, because I've learned also from when I was actually graduate there, okay. I kind of learned back again during my working experience there to do all this kind of 3D turn around, okay, because there is not much kind of resources that have back in the day there, okay. But nowadays you guys can take a look all these kind of reference samples there, okay, along the way, okay, in our internet, okay. This is some of the sample of characters kind of poses there. Don't draw all these kind of characters like standing stiff like this only there, okay, but try to add some of the pose, and then you put some colors, and you will get the kind of energy there, okay, to move into another stage, another level of your design. If you draw very stiff, no expressions, okay, it kind of quite feel a bit kind of pale, and you will easily get bored with your own design, right? Okay, that's why I put some expression, right? Okay, a simple expression like this one, right? Okay, when design a pencil characters, right? Okay, don't look too average there. Try to exaggerate a little bit. Okay, this is something that we actually can talk about later on. Okay, or in time, okay, exaggeration features that the new level experimentation there. Dynamic kind of look, the what we call that the line of action that apply also each characters here, also really important there, okay. each movement of the pose position, okay, they define the line of actions here. So can I share, can I save this kind of files? So I want to give you guys some examples later on. All right. So when you talk about the line of actions, okay, what these characters, the same thing. If you go into those kind of design like this, all right, one of the most important that you saw from here, first of all, when you design the characters, one of the things that you can see there, okay, from here, let me check. Wait, I can actually write you some selections. Okay. Good, there, right. So I'm using a very simple kind of selections like this there. So one of the things that you have to remember, right, when you design these characters, it's all about the silhouette. Why? From the silhouette, you can see the personalities. You can actually take a look the strong kind of physical kind of appearance there that show the what we call that the personalities, okay, the what we call that the personalities and also the behaviors of the characters there, okay, the type of characters of persons that you want to design there. You can see from the silhouette, right? Confidence, very clever kind of look and feel from here. Very quiet, very not quite confidence of here, okay? Go down a little bit. And this is quite controlling, okay, the situation, okay, the guy, the characters itself, okay? When you close the okay, we can see, okay? All this kind of posture that they post on these characters, they'll define the personality behavior at the same time, okay, on your design there, right, okay? Those are the first thing that you have to show, to look into there, okay? And the other way, actually, we're going to work, okay, to define all these kind of behaviors is all about the, let me share, okay, the line of actions. The line of actions that define basically those kind of behaviors. This is what we call the line of actions there. When I actually design these characters here, I also define the line of actions there. We show a bit kind of confidence of these characters here because she's a woman there, okay? So I want to have this kind of woman to be kind of carry kind of women, okay? They're very hardworking, maybe, okay? At the same time, okay, the legs that I designed, okay, is meaning what, okay? She's very active there. She's very sportive there, okay? Even though the body is quite slim there, okay? So the characters define, the shape, the physical define the personality of the character at the same time there. So when you design the characters, think about all this kind of stuff there, okay? Don't just simply draw because you like it, but you don't know how to explain them in the futures. All right? So remember when you design them, when you design the characters here, always define the kind of personalities there. Okay. Right now, let's shall continue, okay? When I want to design this kind of characters here, all right, what are the next I can do? Right, what we call that, the dress itself, okay? What color of the dress that I want to design based on these characters there, okay? If I want to make a little bit more obviously the character going to be the stand out from the rest, okay? I'm not going to use maybe, okay, from the choice of colors there, maybe orange there, right, okay? But I don't know one actually going to wearing orange kind of color sometime, okay, but in some of the occasions there, it's a certain kind of occasion, okay, but for design there, okay, in terms of design, we can use them. Okay. So I might going to use, okay, she's wearing a very tight kind of dress combined with her skirt there, right, okay, at the same time here. Even though I can draw a different way, okay, I can draw a design also. She's wearing a jeans there, okay. But I just want to have a shortcut, right, okay, kind of way of working from here. And when you use layers, the good thing you can actually redesign different kind of outfit there at the same time. So the next things, oh, too much, okay, black colors there. Maybe I'm going to experiment with the different colors there, right, okay, for the belt. Now, it's time for me to design the belt there. But of course, when you design all this kind of stuff, please do make some research at the same time. Right? Don't just simply draw them without having enough kind of reference here. Right? Otherwise, you're going to lose a bit kind of logic at the same time here. So now I want to draw the hand directly. I can use lasso, but I can use also this stuff directly. But if I don't want to interrupt the layers over here, why not actually design the hands? Same goes to the same layers of the faces there, right? Yeah. How about these shapes over here? Just a little bit, make it more smaller there, right? And then the hands. How can you draw the hands? Simplify a little bit there, right? Maybe here. Simplify a little bit there. But to simplify it also, it's not that kind of easy that guys even not actually accommodate basically your kind of understanding at the same time. So you don't just simply draw them, okay, to simplify them, but not actually have the logic of how we're going to work with it kind of design there. Okay, we design back again the shapes of those hands. Same goes to this one. Okay, make sure it's balanced there with the next kind of arms there. Okay, you can actually reuse them if you want to. Okay. So from here, okay, it's going to be the thumb and the hands there, right? You can mix around with the colors there to define different kind of, call that hands there, right? It can be the fingers there. So what's next that we can do the accessories from there? You can use different kind of accessories if you want to. If I want to mix around with the same kind of accessories, go ahead there, right? Those are sketches that you can see there, right? What's next that we can do from here? We just can complete the whole thing. All right. By coloring basically this part, right? Okay. You can use different layers if you want to. Normally, I'm going to use lasso like this to make my job a bit more easy there, right? This one. I can redesign the same shapes, or I can actually use them directly. So I can see whether what is wrong or right from here. So I think the shapes are going to be look like this a little bit. Okay, to make it more balanced there. This one, maybe I'm going to cut a little bit from there. This is some of the methods that I mix around together, just to make basically my works more, my jobs more easy. Okay, either I can paint like this. I just can use the paint bucket that you paint there, right? But the shadows itself, okay, to make it be more solid there, right? And then the next thing is I want to draw basically the all that. She's wearing basically the boots or maybe a high heels. Yeah. So you can design as details as you want. Okay. So up to you guys there how it works. Mix around with different kind of what we call the tone. Even though you cannot see clearly from that, this kind of what we call that scene there, okay? But it still can be used as part of your design there. See? Even though the characters doesn't basically a bit kind of off proportions there, okay? Exaggerate a little bit, but still look balanced there, guys, okay? What do you mean by balanced? Like if you measure them back, the shapes of those positions here, from this particular kind of shapes of measurements, okay? Let me give you guys an example here. Edit what we call the strokes, okay? 7, 8 positions of the head, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, around 5, right? Subconsciously, and I actually write planning, right? Okay, using my what we call that knowledge there. I designed 5 different head, okay, 5 different head for these women characters there. Men are going to be a bit more taller, bit, okay, the average man there, okay, from the same kind of styles of design there, right? So this is basically a standard kind of way of working with those design and to balance out with your kind of positions. And also, if you take a look here right now, okay, the characters positions, okay, the middle kind of positions, okay, the center point of each kind of positions will balance it out there, okay? So for example here, if I'm going to measure back again the line, the alignments over here, let me check here, right? This is the back-to-back kind of position, what we call that, measurements there. I'm not using maths there, guys, okay, don't worry, it's there, right? Where basically the center point, okay, of these characters there, they look balanced there, guys. Right? Even though they're what we call that, when you design the characters, okay, make sure this part here, okay, for example, like this one, we call that, right? Where basically you're going to place the hands, for example, here, right? The arms going to place, okay, the end where, okay, they're going to be end up in the pelvis there. Let me check, okay, whether the hands is right or not. This one there, right? Going to be right here, and these are going to be the hands there, right? And this is basically the positions there, okay? Balance the position between the arms there. Don't draw too short, don't draw too long there, okay? Now, even though you break down your characters into a more exaggerated kind of form, but has to be balanced there. Even though the legs, right, okay? The legs measurement from here to here still at the same kind of length, okay, size there, okay? I know basically some characters that you design, okay, some of the characters that people design, okay, they kind of using basically this kind of form there, okay? For example, like this one there, right? The legs is bigger than the smaller than the body there, right? But when you want to place them back, see, right, okay? This part, balance there. This one there, right? Where basically the hands can be fall off right here to the pelvis there. That's basically the balance there, right? Okay? Even though this is not gorilla, okay? This is basically maybe a muscular kind of guy characters there. They have a very super deformed kind of structures there, okay, to become a warriors maybe, okay. If you take a look at Mr. Incredible there, okay, from Pixar animations there, right, how they design these characters there, okay, they have a various type of silhouette, of shape, or personalities, what we call that, came from those, okay, based on the behavior of the characters there, okay. They still look balanced there, guys, right? Why? Because they have this kind of formulas that works. So when you design the characters, make sure you apply this kind of methods there when you design them. Even though I didn't plan that, right? But I'm using my knowledge back in, I will go back into my kind of understanding and explain to you guys what are the logic that we can actually apply when we design the characters here. Right, okay? This is basically the theories there, okay? The theories there, the methods that you guys can use there to work on that, right? Okay? To work on your kind of way of working with your kind of design there, all right? It's not all about using the tools, but understanding the way, the rules before you're going to bend them back there, right? Okay. So otherwise, you won't be able to see the quality of your design. Okay, when you look at some of the design, okay, it will look nice there, okay, but you won't be able to explain why. This is the things that we're actually going to look into there, guys, when you design the characters here. And then it comes with the three model sheets turn around. Okay, that means you have to design the characters in 3 or 4 different positions there. One of the samples that I actually can give you guys right here, okay, right now, basically the okay, the one they actually have been working on the okay for quite some time there, but it doesn't work well. But this is something that I've done there, okay, that you guys can use as a part of the samples there. When I design these characters here, I design few different kind of positions there. This is something that we want for you guys to achieve. But before actually working on that, I've done numerous kind of characters there, okay, samples there, okay, before I'm going to, this is one of the original design based on the logos there, okay, but it doesn't turn well there. It doesn't look right there, okay. So it doesn't fit well. So I come up with a few number kind of ideas before I'm going to what we call that, finalize them there, okay. Where is it? Okay. Oops. Okay. Before I turn into this one there, right, okay, I have a few number kind of design also at the same time, okay, along the way, in order to get the right kind of color combinations here. So that's why when you design any characters there, right, okay, for these assignments, make sure you actually try to give you guys, okay, find a right kind of subject matters there. One of the best way to design for these assignments, okay, even though you can design any creatures, any monster you want, okay, try to start with yourself there, and you turn into those creatures. Use yourself to become a creature there. Use yourself become a monster there, become a robot there, right? Okay? But that's one of the best way for you guys to work. Don't just what we call that imitate anyone else works there, but you not actually try to look into deep why actually you have to design them, right? Okay? Use yourself as a part of your way of representing your works there, right? Okay? For example, I want to share some of the things that I can do from here there, okay? If I'm seems want to what we call that, use the same kind of way of designing the characters like this, but using basically my kind of what we call that subject matters as myself there, right? Okay, before that I want to finish a little bit on this design, say to make it look more like a woman there, okay, a girl there. So what I can do from here, the colors there, right? So I'm going to draw, okay, mixed up basically the line, okay, to design to define basically the women kind of features there, okay, on their bodies there. So this part basically we haven't finished there, okay. So what I can do, I can combine also the same kind of methods over here. Okay, this one there, right? Double click there, okay, or click to the layers with the same colors there, maybe. Okay, try to work in that first, and then there, right? And mix around there, but not too much there, right? We design the patterns there, right? Okay, we're not actually using only same kind of directions there, okay, same kind of ideas there to work with it. Even though the ears here, what I can do, of course, there's a lot of layers over here, right? Okay. Design basically those. Patterns of the ears there, right? I want to add some sort of like Lashes there. There. Again. Why basically she has a panda head or panda eyes? Okay, maybe she's really hardworking, right? Hardworking kind of person there. Okay, right. Those are the things that we can actually write. Applying and also what we call that make up with those kind of stories okay, on our design there. Okay, what else we can do from here? She's can wear glasses. See. Right. She can wear glasses there, right? I'm not using these layers there. These layers that I actually have been using were basically the measurement layers, right? This is basically the guideline, character guide there. So this one, if I want to create back again, okay, glasses there. Either I can use this kind of glasses if I want to. Round glasses, okay. Also define her personalities. You want to add some sort of like reflections or glasses. I can use different kind of soft brushes that may be right here, right? And maybe light kind of blue light colors there. Show the glasses there, right? Simple kind of solutions that guys okay for the tools that you guys can use. A lot of way to approach. It's all about creativity here. Now, go back into the sketches here, right? Where is it? The sketches just now. Okay, this one, which I start earlier there, right? Now, if I want to design myself as characters using the same methods there, right? So where do I start there, right? See, the same methods there to works using the shapes, but right now, my kind of persons that actually are going to design, maybe directly using this kind of methods there. Shapes, they break down into shapes back again. Okay, there. What else? With the hair, the recent hair or the normal kind of hair, okay? So all these kind of things will matters right now, okay, when you design them, right? Maybe this is the recent kind of hair, okay? So I design my kind of what we call that beard there and there, right? So what else can we do? Okay, I always wearing shirts there, right? And then I'm going to start to design those hands. So man's kind of hands, sometimes you have to be careful when you design them there, right? There. So now basically the legs there, okay, when you design there, okay, what you can do from here, you can make muscular if you want, but naturally, if I want to make it more like a cartoon, I'm going to design like this. There. All right. Try to develop a bit of kind of what we call that, some sort of like identities for your design here. Okay, to make sure that you guys can actually synchronize, okay, your ideas, your design, okay, with different kind of what we call the characters there. Okay, those are the most important thing, but this is not the end up of the things that sometimes we can improvise from here. I think the hands is quite long a bit from here directly. I have to redesign them back there, right? And of course, okay, at the same time, I try to create some sort of situations there. okay, from the interactions at the same time, right? Okay, those are the things that we actually can work together with our design. This is all about the idea developments, okay, when you actually work with it, okay. Right now, if you take a look at the measurement between these kind of characters, a little bit more taller, okay, that means, right, they're going to be around 6 there, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 6 head for these characters there. Simple as that, right? So the guy a bit more taller than the ladies there, right? Okay. Those are the things that logically we actually can apply on those design and which actually going to resemble our work there, right? If you have that kind of basics understanding, foundations of your kind of way of working, okay, it's going to be easy for you to design those characters there, guys. In any other form that you want to work. Okay? All right? Any questions so far for our second assignment kind of works? The submissions are going to be, all right, in the model sheet kind of positions directly, model sheet of positions, and read back again those brief. Okay, and take a look, right, okay, how actually you're going to execute them back there, right? Any question for these groups? Kaping, Yishuan?
No.
Right, Kai Chong, Oyan, Huyan, maybe, right, okay, Miss Vivian are going to be enhanced a bit more further on the presentations there later on there, okay? But for me there, okay, one of the good things that you guys can apply is based on the sample that I actually have shown you guys, okay, some of the developments, some of the sketches there, right, okay? And of course, the final works are going to be 4 different positions there maybe there, okay? On front view, side profiles, and 3/4 view there, right, okay? That you actually can apply from your design. And if you can actually apply those design, not just a very stiff kind of positions, they give it kind of what we call that some poses there, okay? They will be more interesting there for your presentations, all right? If you cannot actually, right, imagine your poses there, okay? Try to use this kind of samples as a part of your reference, and then you can apply them back, okay? It doesn't have to be traced the whole thing like this one, right? Okay, for example, what I actually have done also for our previous kind of caricatures there, right? You can actually, right, exaggerate that. I just say you want to use, you want to design the characters a bit more, the head are going to be bigger a little bit, right? And also the body are going to be stretched a little bit there, right? So what you can do, sorry about that. Okay. You can actually stretch those characters here. As a part of your way of presenting your design, okay? Using the tool that you have, right? The tool that you have there, guys, to give you more advantage to apply the right your works there. All right, use the tools, okay, to help you to imagine more better there, right? Not just to restrict yourself to the things that you don't want, you want to use, okay? You have to think creatively to use the tools to guide you to work on that. Because if you're going to imagine well, use the tool to help you to assist, to engage your ideas there. Not just to follow exactly what you have using reference there, okay? You have to be creative on that, okay, to work on it. That's why we work with the caricatures kind of assignments there, right? And then from designing characters, you guys can actually write, hopefully you guys can understand to execute better way, okay? From the caricature assignments, you design your characters there, you know basically some of the few tools that you're going to use, okay, like liquify tools there, right, okay? You're using the basically the layers there to exaggerate a bit kind of positions there, stretch it out a bit kind of poses or the models that you have, like the reference that you have, and you start to redraw back again, right, okay? If you don't have those kind of imaginations to design those characters there, right, okay, but using the existing kind of pose statue works, okay? All right, so be smart and creative to work with your kind of tool that you have, the reference that you have here to help you to visualize a bit more better there, right? Any question on the assignments? We have around 3 weeks to develop those kind of ideas.
So far, no.
Yeah, because we have 3 weeks. I want to see some progressions of the works. Okay, and hopefully, okay, from here, okay, the attendance, okay, as usual, I'm going to check those attendance back. Oops. So I'm going to take some of the attendance, okay. Then I'm going to check back again, okay, whether some of you guys were not here, right? Like, one of the students that I find that right here. Chumpan is here, Chumpan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, one of the students right here. Any repeat students? Ling Wan is here, Ling Wan. Yong Wei is here, Yong Wei. Tan Yong Wei. Because I get the message from Tan Yong Wei is not here, right? 2017 students there. Ling Wan is here, Ling Wan? No. All right. The next one, okay. From 2020, which I can remember here. Who is it? Oh yeah, Meichi is here, Meichi. So Meichi, are you here? No, they're right. Those are the things I can remember directly. I believe from Paisy kind of side, okay, group 2, who actually have been withdrawn. Paisy, can you recall back again to me? Paisy, are you here or you eat Maggie there, right? Who actually okay from your class, from group 2, right? Group 2. Maybe later on I will check back again. Okay, guys, any questions there? No? Oh, Jessie, okay, from your group, who actually, right? Let's recall back again.
Withdrawn, is it?
Yeah.
Lee Perk Liang.
Lee Pang Yang,
Yeah,
okay.
here.
Okay, thank you. So later on, I'm going to double check back again there, right? Okay, thank you, Jessie. All right, Pretty here, right? Pretty.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. How is it? Okay, everyone, everything okay, right? Ismail is here, there, okay. Sorry, I cannot actually recall all the names there. I remember Christine also there, right? Okay, but she's not in my class, okay. A good kind of development from there. Hopefully, you guys can improve from there, right? And also, okay, this guy, okay, White Quen, okay. Hopefully, you improve also your drawing skills. Pankachun is not mistaken there, okay. I'm looking into some of the works I get from your friends who actually have a big kind of need more kind of extension, okay. Yeah, Chunpan, okay, Chunpan there, okay, Chunpan. Well, hopefully you guys can improve it more further, okay, on your design and try to find some alternative way, not just the average way there, okay. Alternative way for you guys to succeed on your works. Those are one of the most important things that we actually can see from all this kind of reference that you see from here, okay, that I actually share with you guys. It's kind of like realistic kind of drawings here that we actually haven't go through yet. It's not right, but it's not quite realistic there. This is not quite realistic there. This is a little bit more like a cartoon versions, but a little bit more exaggeration at the same times. Okay, exaggerate at the same time. Okay, they're using a certain kind of comic combination with kind of exaggeration, caricatures kind of styles there. Yeah, you can see these characters there, right? Okay, so they kind of like that the characters itself, if you design an animal, like for example, you want to design yourself as an animal there, right? Okay, as an animal, right? Okay, you create a behaviors or human behavior on the kind of that subject matters. Okay, human behaviors from that subject matters there. So those are the things that basically will give a bit kind of impact on your design at the same time. All right. So take a look on those kind of links that I actually have shared with you guys. Just go through a little bit there, right? And to see how far you guys can actually going to work from there. Okay. And my kind of suggestions, please actually write, do a bit more on research before you're going to design any character. I love to see all these kind of characters at the same time. Okay. I try to work on that, but I not quite have time to, even though quite simple there, okay, but there is no design kind of what we call that certificate relation kind of works, which is I can actually use this kind of styles and at the moment, okay, in order to develop, okay, this kind of particular kind of way of working there, right? But I'm look forward, okay, to work on that there, right? Okay? But I cannot find, okay, some of the time that to experiment with this kind of style. It's quite easy, quite simple there, take a look, right? And quite interesting also, right, okay, to explore. So hopefully you guys can experiment a few number kind of styles and design before you decide. And we'll be engaging also for your FYP projects, which is, I don't know what happens there, okay? I just assume directly that whatever that happens from there, because I always have in this mind, okay, whenever I actually have discussed with you guys, okay, with my sessions, I always have this kind of what we call that things that I have responsibles there, because Miss Yashi actually, right, asked me to help you guys that to work on that. But it all depends on you guys want to share with me, okay, on those kind of situations that you have on developing your ideas on illustrations works there, or sharing something there, okay. Even though I'm not actually your supervisors there, right? I always have this in mind, okay, because Miss Yashi always what we call that, give me some sort of responsibility, okay, to engage with you guys on your illustrations kind of works, right? But what I actually have can share also give some sort of tips is the thing that I do it on my demonstrations there. Hopefully it will help there, okay, to give a bit kind of option for you guys there in order to execute your ideas there, right? So hopefully you guys go through with it and see the difference from there and find other options from what you're actually going to work on that, okay? But model shift and around is all about this one, all right? Model shift and around there. Same goes to what I actually have shared with you guys before. This is basically one of the silhouette characters before you're going to design them, define them first, right? Model shift and around are going to be something a little bit more like this when you want to design the characters here. Okay, this is one of the model shift and around there, okay? So remember that, okay? This is something that you guys have to work when you finalize your characters there, right? When you actually confirm, okay, this is the character that I want to do, okay? But before that, also we can sketch a few number kind of design at the same time, okay? All right, guys. So the way that we're going to work, right? If you look back again, it's the same that I've done before, basically in my caricature kind of what we call that sketches there. But the difference is we design back again and break down into the shapes there, okay? From our characters there, okay? We kind of using our own ideas from there. So I normally, okay, if you ask me, okay, I'm going to use the most comfortable way for me to sketch, okay? Because when you feel comfortable with your sketch, easy for you to color them, right? Easy for you to visualize and finalize them. If you find it quite hard for you to sketch, when it comes to design, also we will feel the same way. So make sure you make a strong kind of foundations with your ideas, when you sketch your ideas there first, before you are going to finalize that. Okay, you guys can see, okay, when I actually plan the sketches, right, even it's quite quick there, okay, but it gives me more advantage to improvise my design. It doesn't have to be the same again. Roughly, the ideas, the planning were there, and we try to execute based on our understanding. Okay, all right. If we don't have any questions, I'm going to hold our sessions up here until next week, and I'm going to see the group 3 there, right? After this, around 2 o'clock. So thank you very much, guys, for having me today. All the best with your assignments and your final projects. All right, FYP projects, and good luck, and keep up working on the good works. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Yeah, stay safe there, okay? Everyone there, okay?